Hello, everyone. Welcome to EIPIP Meeting 34. I'm going to share agenda in chat here. So the first item for discussion listed here is EIP ERC editor. We have been receiving interest from people that are showing up at ECH Discord and EIP editing channel of Eat R&D Discord. So some of them have joined today the call to learn from the present editors and understand the next steps for them. So I'm opening the floor for anyone who would like to take a lead on this and explain what would be the next steps for these aspirants.
So this is for people who are interested in onboarding, right?
Right. So I believe one of the participants who showed interest in EIP editing channel, he is already here. I don't know, maybe Braden, if you would like to go ahead and introduce yourself to the group, and then if you have any question or trying to understand what is the process, you may feel free.
Righto, yeah, so I'm Braden. I remember Tim put out a message saying in one of the EIP editing channels, I think it was, saying that if anyone's lurking, please try to get involved or at least signal your message. And then also, say William mentioned previously, I think that he was keen to do it as well. So yeah, it's really cool that there's interest, and yeah, I'd really be keen to sort of try to see if I could help out in any way.
Awesome. Well, thanks for showing interest for sure. And exactly which aspects of the editing are you interested in? Either EIP core editing, like the stuff that Micah mostly does, or ERC editing that both Light client does, as well as core editing that he does?
I'd be primarily interested in the former. However, it seems like there's more demand for the latter, or that the latter is currently a bit less addressed. So in the spirit of that, I would be keen to just sort of fill any voids or to assist in the expansion where resources need to be, essentially.
And what would you say is your technical and Ethereum background that would make you qualified, or someone who would that could train up for something like this?
So as a disclaimer, I'm under the impression that a lot of the EIP editing work is sort of just grunt work of checking that it's in the right formatting, and so just being familiar with EIP1 would be sufficient. But regardless of that, I would be less susceptible in some sense to working on ERC, since I don't write smart contracts directly. I just have a pretty broad interest in EIPs and the current ETH space in general, I suppose.
Okay, great.
I have background in maths, but I'm not a cryptographer, for instance.
Got it. Are you a developer at all?
Not particularly. I just do some research at a relatively small firm in Australia.
Okay. Well, anyone who's interested, I think, should definitely be given an opportunity to try to onboard in one way or another as kind of maybe a junior editor, or someone who can get a feel for how things are, and maybe even be our guinea pig for someone that we train up to see if it fits for you, if you actually like the work and it would work for you and that kind of thing, and to see if it's a good fit overall is kind of my thinking. I know from talking to the other editors recently, there's not a lot of bandwidth for training up, but I think what we can do is, since people are starting to be interested, make like a shared group chat in like Discord, and just start going from there, from the ground up, seeing how we can best give anecdotes to how we do things as EIP editors, and make sure that the newcomers are comfortable and get what they need to get to start working on it. I hope that word vomit made sense.
I like the idea of having a group chat to help onboard people. I think a good way to have people get started is if we can create a chat with the current editors and the people who want to onboard as editors, and have a place where they can just ping us directly and say, look, I've reviewed this. This change is okay to go. It just needs an editor to come in and double check and then merge.
Happy to create one at Ethereum cat herders Discord if that's fine with everyone here. I mean, editors are already there and we can add the aspirants there.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. Well, Light Client and Micah specifically, do you all check out the Cat Herders Discord enough to, or like, would you turn on a notification for that, or would it be better to have a DM? Would you be more responsive over like a DM?
It doesn't really matter, right? To me, I can turn on notifications for a specific channel in Cat Herders and go that way, or we can just have a DM. It's basically the same for me.
Okay. Micah, do you have a preference?
Whatever. No, same.
Okay. Yeah, Pooja, let's set up a channel in the Cat Herders Discord then.
Micah reads every channel.
Honestly,
This is true.
that's true, yeah.
It's really no different to him.
I don't see the lie there. Okay, so yeah, we'll get this channel set up, and thank you so much. How do you want to go by Spore Druid Bray? Do you want to go by your name or by your nickname, or?
So my name is Brayton, but I'm responsive to either.
Okay, just be Spore or something. I deem you Spore. I'm joking. Yeah.
You hand out names now, huh?
No, that's really cool. I can Spores to go.
Okay, cool. All right, that's about it for that piece, I think, Pooja, unless anyone had anything.
Yeah, I'm fine. So the next item, I believe, Hudson, if you would like to speak for it as well, the funding part, or maybe Tim, I don't know.
Yeah, so we've been given word that the Ecosystem Support Program from the Ethereum Foundation, which is what they do is they do some form of grant giving and other types of support for ecosystem participants, has given us a grant of $10,000 to start out paying EIP editors. From discussions individually with the EIP editors, it looks like we're going to be funding Light Client for their work EIP editing for a certain number of months. Do you remember what we laid out, Pooja? I don't have it in front of me.
I think it's initially for 3 months and then, will be reevaluated.
And then we also have funding for, was it 2 junior editors?
Yeah.
Great. So basically, we can release the numbers later for those who are interested, but this is just kind of starting out as a test thing for how much and how frequent we would pay editors, because we only are guaranteed $10,000 for I think a 3-month period, like you mentioned, Pooja. So we can reevaluate after that what funding we can get from other places or from ESP again. So I don't foresee that being an issue, but I don't want to jump the gun either. So we're just being careful with how we distribute the funds, but we've allocated all 10,000 over 3 months for 3 people, basically.
Yeah, and one last thing before we move on to another topic, unless anyone has any question, Richard, I'm not sure if you have had a chance to look into the document in which the primary requirement of an EIP editor and high-level responsibilities are already mentioned. So feel free to refer the document here.
Sounds good, sure.
And I think that is it for that topic. If anyone has any other questions about it or is interested in becoming an editor or a junior editor outside of the people who have spoken up, which would be William and Spore, just let me know.
All right. So the next item up for discussion is progress on EIP GitHub repo action bot. I don't know, this issue that is linked in the agenda is open for a while. So I'm just trying to understand, like, if the initial task has been completed and we can close up that issue. I understand that bot work is something going to be an ongoing task, and Yeah, I mean, like, we can always open a new issue if there is new task. Any update? I don't know if Alita is on the call. No, I don't see her on the call today. Oh, sorry.
She's here.
Yeah. Yes.
So I think the initial task is done. I mean, I think Micah would have to confirm on that. I guess like aside from essentially the only thing remaining is I have to turn bot on, which I'm going to be doing today. So, and then kind of like following up with any issues that occur when I do that. So that makes sense.
Yep, and aligns with my understanding.
Thank you so very much, Anita, for the update. So another thing, I mean, I just randomly saw it there. If it is already resolved, I don't know. There was this message related to bot blocking several merges. I believe that is already under radar. So not sure if people would like to like discuss it here or async is fine for that.
Did you say? Oh yeah, it's blocking merges.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna be changing that. Like that's the final step, I guess, and that one is gonna be changing to no longer blocking today. If that makes, I mean, like,
Yeah.
so essentially, it used to not be merging, and then now it's going to, and that's kind of like the change that should hopefully close out the ticket.
I think what she's referring to is the thing we talked about that we're going to do after we get this started to merge, which is the bot should notice when an EIP editor approves an EIP that is changing statuses and then unblock at that point.
Yeah, sure. I think that there was one. I think that this was addressed like previously. I don't know. Yeah, that's something that I will be addressing for sure.
Cool. Thank you very much. So,
Pooja, real quick, can you add, when you make that group for the EIP editors and prospective editors, can you add Alita to the group, if you don't mind, Alita, so we can ask questions about the bot that might come up?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks.
cool. I'll do that today. Yeah. So if anyone has any question on this item particularly or comment, if not, we can move on. I think the next item is progress on JSONRPC API spec in E1 repo.
So this one is I'm kind of in the works right now with Tomas, kind of planning out the timeline and expected like outcome of the product. It's kind of like there's a lot of work involved with JSONRPC, perhaps like more than I think a lot of people realize. At least assuming that we want to do the edge casing stuff that hasn't been like super well defined. But in any case, the first step number one is going to be just building out like the baseline, converting EIP 1474 into an open RPC format, and that is in progress. The goal is to get that done by next meeting.
If I understand correctly, is there any requirement for any other resource?
Like further action from other people? No, I don't believe so.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. Okay. So next item listed here is progress on canonical sources for EIPs.
Yeah, I've got Got that. My understanding of the goals are we want to separate the EIP standardization process from the network upgrade process, and we also want to remove the ERCs from the EI repository. And then I noticed on the agenda changes to EIP1, so I'm wondering, my recollection is we decided to leave EIP1 in the EIP repository, but anyway, yeah, I'm wondering what's up with that.
Sorry about that. I think that particular point I have added to kind of list the changes which have been discussed in different meetings of EIP itself, and they have not yet been updated to current EIP1. So if we can have that listed somewhere, maybe that would be helpful. Someone can, create a pull request for all those changes.
Okay, so I guess I'm not familiar with those changes.
Okay.
Is there a list of those changes somewhere or some source of information?
That's what I was trying to get here. Like if we can create that list, I'm not sure. Like if someone can go through the like earlier meeting notes of EIP meeting and whatever the decisions taken, maybe I can work with you on this async and try to come up with that list so that we bring it up.
That sounds good. Yeah, if you could help me with that, I appreciate that, and I'll try and carve out some time for that.
One another thing that I found on the document, the WIP document that is added here in the item,
Right.
that is about adding the search button to eips.ethereum.org.
Right.
So, I'm wondering what group thinks about it. Like, I think that it is something that is that could be helpful. Is anyone from the group like willing to work on that, or how do we see that as a priority here?
One possible easy way to do that is there's a way to configure a Google search. So it's just a simple plugin to tell Google and other sites do this too, and have Google, and you just restrict the Google search to the site you want to search. So we could restrict it to eips.ethereum.org, and then people could type in there and search only that content. That's one real easy way to do that kind of stuff. Or would and another suggestion was to use, they pointed to some other site that has a WordPress search custom built for WordPress sites, but I don't know if that would work for us. But anyway, those are two possibilities.
Yeah, I think there was this issue created. I'm going to share here the link. It is by ethereum.org people. I am not sure if that is already like looked into. Okay, I think
Looking at that there. Okay, yeah, Sam. Okay, yeah, I'll review that. And it looks like that's the place to talk about more of those possibilities. I'll review that site and see if I can help contribute there also.
sounds good. I think if we can add that in the document, like as a point to be considered, will be great. Like if and when we have people to work on this particular feature to be added on Ethereum, eip.ethereum.org, I think that is going to be helpful.
Yeah, the document's getting a little bit out of date. A lot of things have changed since I last worked on that, so I'll work on getting that cleaned up too.
Right. So one last thing that I wanted to bring up in this particular topic was the cleanup of eips.ethereum.org repo. The website. By cleanup, what I mean here is I took a dump some times ago, and it seems that there are 361 EIPs on total that is existing on the website, and out of that 361, 242 are in draft status. We can see that the present pull request in the EIP's GitHub repo is not that much. Like it's a very small number. So there are high chances that either these proposals have been superseded by some other proposal or is obsolete, and we would want to move them to withdrawn. Wondering if there is any way or any bot or any program that can be that can be helpful to figure out and bring them together in sync? Do people have thoughts on that?
Yeah, so for the bot, can it possibly look at the inactivity, the last edit, or last time there's a PR for that file, and move it to withdrawn after, say, a year?
So the present bot already closes it. Like if it is inactive for 3 months or 6 month period of time, it already closes the pull request. The issue that I think is here is the status is not being changed before it is closed.
So I'm not talking about the pull request. I'm saying, can the bot open a PR to change the status of an EIP
Okay.
if it's in draft for, say, a year?
That is certainly possible.
Right now, we're doing that manually, right, Micah?
Right now, we don't do it at all, which is the
We've
problem.
talked about doing it before, that's right.
Yes.
It'd be a good idea to set something up to do that. I don't really know how urgent that is. Someone else can kind of figure that out.
Yeah, right. I mean, like on like priority, I mean, this may not be something of very high priority, but it would be good to have. Maybe we can create an issue, and if and when someone is available to do this task, that can be assigned.
That would be a good task for one of the junior editors to get started on, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, Micah just said it in chat, yeah.
Okay. So maybe create a issue for this particular task, and let's see how we proceed in this.
Thanks, Pooja.
Okay. Looks like we are going to end up this early today. We have already reached to the last item. Unfortunately, we do not have meeting notes available as of now, but I think we should have some action item listed here. Let me see. So if you would like to walk us through with that.
Yeah, so sorry about the notes. In terms of action items, Mika felt that one thing that we could do would be the banner to put up the big red banner to say that this ERC is not accepted. It's still just in a draft status. And then Alita said that she would be keen to have a go at that, I think.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about this. I will take a look. Is the requirement here, like I looked into it a little bit, and it would be a little bit challenging to actually have CSS in the markdown. So I think the easiest way would be like if we just included a picture of it and then just like displayed it on the top. Like, are people okay with that?
What's the reason we can't do HTML CSS?
Well, so you can actually, if you do like the rich markdown, instead of just regular markdown, you can do it. But the problem would be like you would need to convert it to a rich markdown, which I'm not sure if there's like some issues with that or whatever. It might just be easier.
A better HTML file?
I thought inline styles worked in Markdown.
What was that, Edson? Sorry, I missed.
Inline styles worked fine.
Oh,
Okay, I think you should be able to do. So if you look in the EIP's repo under _layouts folder, I don't know which one of these it is, but either under _layouts, _data, or _includes, I believe. Somewhere in there is like the the page itself, not the EIPs, but the page, like that renders the EIPs. And in that one, it should just be HTML, and you can just add CSS like inline or as a style sheet, I believe. And that would show up on every page that matches some requirement. So in this case, draft would be the requirement, and it would every page that matches its draft would get some header.
Oh, I see what you mean. So you're talking about like a banner on the EIPs like .org thing?
Yeah, the EIPs.ethereum.org. So it would not, this banner would not show up in the GitHub repo, but our hope and belief is that most people are interacting with EIPs through the EIPs.ethereum.org, except for authors. And if that is true, then those people will see this banner when they're browsing that page.
All right. Yeah, that should be easy then. Okay, do you mind like giving me a bit more like just like chatting with me on Discord and telling me the exact like specifications of the change?
Sure.
Just to make sure. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. We can do that in, let's do that in the Cat Herders EIPs room or the ETH R&D EIPs room, in case other people have opinions.
I will anyway create the channel today, so I think it can be continued in either of the forum. Okay, maybe it would be a good idea, Anita, just to have a reminder on that, because this is a task that you would be undertaking. So, create an issue and then update the status later on.
Sure, that's fine. By the way, I should create these tickets on, I think the Ethereum Cat Herders, right?
EIPIP meeting, that should be nice. I mean, like the EIPIP GitHub, you can create an issue there.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Okay. Another point is discussion arose to whether William Schwab should become an ERC editor. Unfortunately, he could not join today. He had a conflict. I did mention it to him, so I'll add him in the group as well. If he is still like looking into, keen to be an ERC editor and looking into this this direction. Lightline raised the idea of hosting consultation hour, where people could come and they could just give 5 minutes pitch of their idea, and some could stamp it like this is not an ERC. William Schwab provided some resistance to this idea. Okay, fine. I don't see any action item implied here, so we can just leave it when we'll have it in a part of the meeting notes. So that is it. Yeah, I think this is going to be one of the shortest EIPIP meeting. Does anyone have anything else to bring up? Okay. In that case, may I take a few moments to announce a survey, which is directly not related to the process improvement, but with the Ethereum ecosystem in general. So yesterday, Cat Herders distributed a survey that we are conducting for Ethereum blockchain users and developers. It's for better understanding of future requirements of client developers in terms of both tools and documentation. So if people who are listening this meeting on the YouTube, if you interact with Ethereum blockchain, run Ethereum 1.0 or 2.0 node, or otherwise contribute to blockchain technology, please respond to this survey. I'm going to drop the link in the description box. This research is done in association with Nethermind, a core client of Ethereum. So that's all for the meeting today. Thank you everyone for joining. See you in 2 weeks.
Thanks.
Thank you.
See ya.